Hi, my name is Kia Giddings, and I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of social media and its impact on business. Do you remember this screen back in the age of AOL 2.0 to AOL 10.0 in the late 1990s, early 2000, when we thought we were so cool when you could combine Yahoo Messenger, MSN Messenger, AOL Messenger in order to talk to our friends? Or back in the days when these were our cell phones and this is what we had to choose from, and if you were bored, you broke out the N64 or PlayStation and spent hours on it playing? Well, that was all fine and dandy until something called social networking sites came out. The first social network site was launched in 1997, and it was called 6degrees.com. Now this website, it peaked at about 1 million members, and it was closed on 2000. And within that span, there was other sites that came out. LiveJournal was kind of like the first blogging site where you could blog and people could actually read it and comment or on it, whatever. Then Friendster came out in 2002. It's not as popular as the major sites we've come to know now. Friendster kind of was like a small dating site. Linked came out in 2003, and Linked is a site where you could post your resume and you can network with people that way. Some employers often tend to look on there, to see what kind of people they are without actually having to talk to them or meet them. MySpace also came out in 2003, and MySpace had its glory days of when it was the major social networking site. And MySpace offered it all. You were able to play and stream your music from it, customize your page, customize your friend list, send email messages to different people, and you were able to post pictures, post comments, and it was exciting because it was MySpace. Between that time, other websites like Flickr and PhotoBucket and Picnic came out, that you were able to upload pictures, you could share them, you could edit them. Facebook came out in 2004, but that Facebook was for Harvard-only students, because back then you could only have a Harvard email address in order to be accepted on Facebook. A year later, though, that did change, and Facebook opened up to high school networks and colleges, and you had to be invited by your network in order to get on there. And that's when I think Facebook was the best, because you didn't have to worry about just anybody getting on there. You knew that they were either in school, in high school or college. And then in 2006, Facebook opened up to bigger businesses, networks, and it was able to actually have a certain network that you could open up for Facebook. And now it's to the point where Facebook allows anybody. So that means your 9-year-old brother or sister can have a Facebook, your pet dog, your pet turtle, and rabbit can have their own Facebook. It's ridiculous. Then Twitter came out, and Twitter at first wasn't as popular because people were still getting over the Facebook craze. MySpace was dying down at this time, and then Twitter over the last couple of years has just become a major social networking site. Twitter has changed the way people look at life. Twitter has changed people's bank accounts sometimes because of the fines that they get. It's mostly talking about celebrities and athletes. They get fined from Twitter for posting certain things. Social media, of course, is going to have its advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are for a media site, a social media network site like Foursquare. Foursquare gives you the ability to preview restaurants or businesses or stores or anything you could think of without having to look online. It's a trusted source because you have your friends, family, and others that you know their opinion, instead of whereas on the internet you have people that will post, but you're not really sure if they either work there or they got asked to put that, or if it's really truthful. It gives the consumer the heads up. So if you're looking for a great Mexican cuisine place, or you're looking for a great Italian spot, all you have to do is go on Foursquare and search Italian or search Mexican, and it'll show you, it rates them. They have pictures that other people have posted. They have stuff that's on the menu. And it gives more business to the businesses with word of mouth. If more people promote that business that they went to, then they get more business, and it helps them out tremendously. There's certain restaurants or stores that will offer free stuff, free appetizers if you come and dine in, or certain stores that they'll offer a percentage off of whatever you get if you go in there. Also, with the campaign coming up, I think it helps out politically, because if the politicians, they want to aim and hit that younger crowd, social media is going to be the way to go. Commercials won't do it anymore, or pep rallying or anything, that won't help. It's all about social media. That is where the age group that has the lowest amount of votes is mostly at. You advertise and you campaign yourself, market yourself through Twitter, Facebook, trend yourself. That will help out yourself in the polls. And also, with the disadvantages, anyone is a publisher now. As long as you have a phone or something with a camera, an internet connection, you can be a publisher. If anything happens, you can take a video of it, upload it to YouTube in about 30 seconds, and heck, within that, many people can see it. Also, its disadvantage is if you post something on a social media site, most of the time you post it and you try to delete it, someone is going to see it. So you have to watch what you say carefully on a social media site, especially if you work for a job that has your Facebook or has your Twitter or has your MySpace account, and they see that, they might try to fire you. That's where it brings me to the thing with job or no job. If you have a job and you do something foolish, you could possibly not have that job anymore. And nowadays, employers are now asking the potential employees and current employees to share their social media networks with them so they can see what that person is like, what that person does. Kind of like keeping tabs on them. And then there's trending. Trending can be a good and a bad thing. Trending came with the hash mark for Twitter, and trending means what people are talking about. So, for Comcast example, they wanted to get a better grasp on what their customers thought. So they hired a person that specifically works just on finding to see wherever anyone that mentions Comcast or anything having to do with Comcast. He watches, and if he sees a disgruntled customer, he will personally message them and apologize and ask if there's anything that they can do. And with service like that, that's kind of giving Comcast a more reputable image, and then also kind of helps them out. It makes people think that, oh, hey, they are paying attention, they are listening, It gives the consumer a happier point of view about where they're putting their money towards. There's also the rule of thumb, which is if you go somewhere great and you have a great time, you'll probably tell a few people. But if you go somewhere bad, you tell a lot. So a good example is, like, out of the 10 people that you tell, maybe 6 of those people will actually listen and tell others. And then if you do the same thing, they'll tell 10 people, 5 or 6 of them will pay attention, and maybe they'll tell. So, you always have to make sure with businesses, you have to give off good vibes, good customer service, because one person could spread how bad their experience was to about 50 people, and then they spread it, and then people just figure out from word of mouth, and they hear, and that looks bad on you, the business. Also, with watching your back, you have to make sure you always watch what you post, what you put on any social media site. You are not safe, it's not private. So, in order, especially if you have a job, it's very crucial that you make sure you watch what you say, what you post, what kind of videos, what kind of pictures you put up there. Because they can always be perceived as different than what you actually think it is. This is Facebook's privacy settings. They have 3 different settings, which is everyone, which anyone can see it, friends of friends, so your friends and then their friends can see it, and then only friends. I honestly recommend you make it only friends, especially if you're looking for a job. It's harder for you to be Google searched in order to figure out, oh, what are you doing, what's on your page, kind of thing. And there are other things you can do on Facebook. You can restrict certain people. You can only show certain albums. You can either restrict certain albums to just yourself, or you can restrict certain albums to certain people, so that when you try and look for that job, the employer won't come after you, or the employer won't see all that stuff. These options were changed because of the privacy issues that people were bringing up with Facebook about with the employers, and how anyone could honestly see what they were doing, and now they can't. So it gives a little more privacy, but still you have to be careful with what you do. And these are my sources, and that is all.